A couple weeks ago, I lost everything. All my business accounts were hacked and deleted, including my email, my course, a bunch of other random things, and maybe most importantly, this YouTube channel was hacked and deleted. And I watched as the hackers locked me out of this account and slowly started deleting the videos on my channel before they ultimately deleted this YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you exactly what happened. It's a very painful story with some really big lessons. In fact, there's 3 big lessons that I learned that I'm gonna share with you at the end of the video. But before I share with you exactly what happened, I do have a huge favor to ask you. Please make sure and like this video, watch this video till the end. The performance of my YouTube channel has gone down dramatically. I'm getting way less views. So please go back and watch my previous videos, like my previous videos, leave them on in the background while you're doing other things. And before I get into exactly what happened to my YouTube channel, why it got deleted, and how I was ultimately able to get it back, and trust me, it was a struggle, I do have one quick announcement. And that's that this entire thing made me realize that I want to start growing my team, and I want to start hiring more people, and I want to hire you. And if you're interested in working with me, there's a link to a form down below. I'm specifically looking at hiring an executive assistant, a writer, and honestly, if you're smart and hardworking, I'm interested in hiring you. You can click on the link down below to apply for this position, and I'll send you more information. And now let me tell you step by step what happened, how I got hacked, how I tried to solve it, why it took so long to solve it. And this all started on November 19th, which was a Sunday. I was outside, I was looking at the ocean, doing some exercise, and I got a call from Connor. And Connor is a guy that I actually recently hired. A few months ago, I posted a video on this channel explaining that I'm looking to hire someone to come work for me. And Connor applied and I hired him. And Connor is my right-hand man. He actually is a fan of the YouTube channel. He's gone through the course. He even launched his own product. And so he was the perfect type of person that I wanted to hire. So anyways, it was November 19th, middle of the day, probably about 1 p.m. I get a call from Connor and he said, "Hey, are you changing the password to Dropbox?" And I use, or at least I should say that I used to use Dropbox to send files to my video editors. And I told him, "No, I'm not changing the password." And he's like, "You better come check this out. Like, all the passwords are getting changed." So I ran home and I started trying to log on to all our different accounts. And I was locked out of everything. Everything I tried, everything had been changed, and I was freaking out. I was hacked a few years ago, and the last time I was hacked, it was very stressful, but I was able to fully recover everything. There wasn't a lot of damage. This time, however, there's been a lot of damage. This entire hack has probably cost me $50,000, $100,000 at least, and including a ransom that I paid that I'll talk about later. So I noticed that a lot of the recovery email addresses were being changed to travissucks1@gmail.com. So I decided to email this email because I had a pretty good idea of who the person was that was doing the hacking. Had hired this executive assistant in Brazil, and let's just call him Eric. And Eric didn't do that great of a job as the executive assistant role, and I'd given him feedback saying, hey, trying to give him pointers, and he had mentioned to me that respect is very important in Brazil and that he didn't really like the way that I was talking to him, even though I was just pointing out things that he needed improvement on, and he actually ended up resigning about 2 weeks before this entire incident. And the issue was, at first, I was unsure about exactly how much to pay him because he was overcharging us on hours. He was taking a really long time to do very basic tasks. But ultimately, I did tell Connor, like, let's go ahead and just pay him. But there was a delay in getting him the payment. And it had been 2 weeks since he had quit. And I understand, he was upset probably because I had taken so long to pay him. But to be fair, he actually never even sent me an email saying that he had quit, and he never sent me an email asking for the payment, and I thought Connor didn't, but Connor wanted to make sure that we weren't overpaying him, so there was a delay in getting him his final payment, and I was pretty sure that it was him that had done the hacking. So I sent an email to this email address saying, "Hey, Eric, what's going on? I just found out that Connor hadn't paid you yet. I'm sorry, we're gonna get you a payment right away, but please stop all of this nonsense, all this stuff that you're doing." And I wanna make it clear, this was not Connor's fault. It wasn't anyone else's fault except for me. At the end of the day, as a business owner, it's my fault. If there's an issue that goes on in my business, it's my fault. So I don't wanna try to put the blame on anyone else. And it was around that time that I started watching as the videos slowly started getting deleted from my YouTube channel, and ultimately that my channel itself got deleted completely. So I was freaking out at this point, and that email address finally emailed me back and said, "Who is this Eric person? And before we do our business, you need to send Eric his last payment." So I rushed and got Eric his last payment and said, "Okay, can we stop this nonsense now?" And then after that, the hacker sent me an email saying, "If you want all your files back and you want everything to be recovered and your emails and all that kind of stuff, you need to pay me a ransom of $8,000. And the money needs to be sent using Ethereum." And this is not a small amount of money, but my channel and everything is extremely important to me. And so I wanted to make sure that I got it back as soon as possible. So I told the hacker, sure, I went to Coinbase to try to go buy some. And it turns out that I wouldn't be able to get the Ethereum for 9 days. That's how long it takes Coinbase to, when you buy the coins, to be sent to you. And I told this to the hacker, and weirdly enough, the hacker was like, yeah, I understand. Don't worry about it. Just send me the money when you get it, which is a little bit weird because the next day, the hacker responded back and said, "Oh, I see that you're trying to recover all your passwords and you're trying to recover everything. Now you only have 4 hours to send it to me, and here's a website where you could get it instantly." And so what that tells me is this might be the first time that this hacker, or this guy, Eric, has done this. And that's going to be important later, because a big thing with this is I couldn't tell, was it actually Eric or had someone hacked his computer? And at this time, keep in mind that he wasn't the only suspect. There was a couple other people. I have other people on my team that had access to be able to do some of this stuff. But a lot of those people I've had for 5-6 years, and I really trusted them. And it felt like it was the work of this Eric character. And at the same time, I had contacted YouTube and told them what's going on. And at first they said, okay, well, you need to log into the account that's associated with your YouTube account. But I explained I don't have access to that account, to which they said, sorry, we can't really help you. And I went back and forth with them and finally ended up explaining the situation, and I got escalated to email support. And email support said, oh my gosh, I totally understand what's going on. We can help you. And at this point, it was Sunday night, and I was supposed to go on a week-long trip with my dad to Joshua Tree, but because of everything going on, we decided to cancel the trip. And I was really grateful because my dad actually ended up spending the night here with me for the next couple nights, which was so helpful because I needed someone there with me. Because I don't know if you've ever had an experience like this, but you have so much adrenaline going through you can't really think straight. It's nice just to know that you're loved. It's nice just to know that there's someone there for you. And that night, I ended up going to bed thinking that YouTube support was going to help me, but I woke up 2 hours later freaking out. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you wake up from a nightmare and then you realize that that nightmare is actually just real life. It was the most surreal experience because all of a sudden I'm looking around like, oh my God, this is my reality. Everything that I've worked for has been lost. And I checked my email thinking and hoping that YouTube was going to say, don't worry, we've got everything taken care of. And their response blew my mind. They told me, sorry, we don't think that you are actually hacked. To which I freaked out and said, what are you talking about? And YouTube's the only person that can help me at this point. No one else can really help me. They've got my channel. They've got all my files in their backup vaults somewhere. I knew this, but they were refusing to help me. And they even were telling me, sorry, it's not possible. It's been permanently deleted. Bye. So I followed up with them, and they said, and gave them some more information and explained to them. And you know what? I'm sick of covering up for this person. The name isn't Eric. The guy's name was Diego. I'm not going to share his last name because I don't know for sure or not if he's guilty, but it's too hard to try to like fake this name. So I explained to them that I had a person that had recently quit from me. His name was Diego, and I thought I had removed all access from him. Apparently I did not. And they said, well, basically, sorry, you had given him access. If he wants to delete it, he can delete it. And that blew my mind because I was explaining that, yeah, he had access at one point, but I thought I had removed the access. I don't know how he still had the access. And my thought was he must have created some kind of a backdoor, some kind of a two-step verification. Now, again, this is all alleged. I don't know for sure that it was indeed him. So at this point, I was continuing to freak out. I posted on my Instagram letting people know that my account had been hacked and asking for help. I also posted on Twitter and asked YouTube support for help. And they're like, oh, we got you. We can help you. And they proceeded not to help me. They would read my message and ignore it. They would send me in loops. This was the craziest part about it. The Twitter support would send me to creator support. Creator support would send me to partner support. Partner support would say go back to creator support, and then creator support would go back to partner support. And then I would go to Twitter and explain that I haven't gotten any help. They would say go to creator support. And this went on for days. Finally, after dozens of back and forth messages, I got put in touch with someone that was a manager at YouTube support. And they said, we've completely read everything. We understand all your issues. We got you. We're going to be able to help you. And I went to bed thinking, okay, I can finally sleep now. I probably got 3 or 4 hours of sleep that night, woke up, and the same thing happened. They said, sorry, our specialist team has determined that we cannot help you. I went back and forth with them. I filed an FBI report. And by the way, for Diego, if you are watching this, I'm going to figure out a way to make sure that what's fair happens, because, and if you are innocent, then nothing will happen. But the ransom that was paid and everything, I'm planning on getting that back. And Google support, Google actually has a team that's going to be investigating this fraud. And spoiler alert, we were eventually able to trace back the attack to, it seems like 99.9% likely that it came from Diego's computer. Now, I did message Diego and say, hey man, like what's going on? I paid you the ransom, I paid you all this money, and I still haven't gotten my files back. And he responded with basically, I don't know what you're talking about. The hacker, he said that his computer had been hacked. So there is a chance that his computer was hacked and that he is completely innocent. I don't know, and I may never know, but let me explain some more about how I eventually was able to get my channel back. I ended up contacting someone that I knew was part of a YouTube mastermind, and I contacted a bunch of people that knew high-level YouTubers, that knew people that worked at Google, that knew people that worked at YouTube, and one person in particular, a friend of mine, was part of this group, and he put me in touch with a guy named Antonio Centeno. Amazing guy. Check out his YouTube channel, Real Men, Real Style. And Antonio put me in touch with a lawyer that specializes in this stuff. And I do want to give a shout out to Antonio because he gave me a call on the day of the hack. And it was really nice. It was really nice that someone as busy and as successful as him took the time out of his day to call me and empathize with me and say, man, I know this sucks. He's had an experience that was relatively similar, not as intense, but somewhat similar with his account getting taken over. And it was just nice. And this is going to be one of the big themes throughout this entire thing. This whole process made me realize how important having a community and having a network is, and supporting other people in times of need, and having people that can support you in times of need. So I contacted the lawyer and I explained everything to the lawyer, and he's like, okay, I kind of understand. And then the next day we actually had our first official meeting, because the original thing was just kind of like a discovery call. And on the official meeting, to be honest, and I may have just been a little bit in adrenaline shock, I felt like he was accusing me of lying. He's like, Travis, this doesn't make sense. Like, what are you talking about? Like, nothing you're saying is making sense. And I was like, at this point, this was 3-4 days into it, I was stressed and I was pissed off. And I took a deep breath and I'm like, what doesn't make sense? Explain to me what's the issue, because, and at this point, I still didn't really know for sure who had hacked me. It could have been a couple of my different VAs. It could have been a legitimate hacker. It could have been this person I've repeatedly talked about, that executive assistant. And I ended up explaining the story step by step to him. And what he told me, and this is a key insight when you're contacting Amazon support or YouTube support, is you need to, first off, write out a detailed explanation of everything and create a story that the support staff can understand. The problem is I didn't know who it was, and it seemed erratic to the support people. They didn't understand what was going on. But once I explained that, yeah, we were pretty sure it's this Diego character, and I explained step by step everything, it was a little bit more easy for the support team to understand, oh, it was a disgruntled ex-employee that didn't receive their last paycheck in a timely manner, and so yeah, they're pissed off. Again, I still don't know to this day if that is the real scenario, but then I emailed YouTube support and I was so excited because they finally, when I told them I had a lawyer, oh, I didn't even mention this, they had told me that this was the final decision, that they can't help me. And then I sent them an email saying, hey, I've hired a lawyer. And they put me in, they're like, oh, well, now that you've hired a lawyer, we're gonna put you in touch with the next level of support, which is crazy to me. Because if at any point I would have given up, my channel would have been gone forever. I could have given up so many times. They made me jump through so many freaking hoops. It's disgusting to me that they made me go through all this effort in such a low point in my life. But you know, the truth is, I'm still extremely grateful to YouTube as a platform because they've made so many amazing things possible to me. This is a call to action to YouTube. Create better support for your, especially people that rely on this as their main source of income. It's crazy to me that they wouldn't maybe have different tiers of support for people. And after I got sent to this next level of YouTube support, it was a big waiting game. I got sent to them about a week and a half ago, and they told me, okay, great. And everything took a day. They would send me one message and I would respond to it, and it would take another day. And there'd be simple things. I'm like, guys, there has to be a better way of doing this. And finally they said, all right, well, submit all your evidence that you actually own the channel. Even though I'm in every single video, they still need me to submit the evidence that I own it. I submitted all my paperwork. I submitted everything that I had. And they told me, well, we're gonna have the internal team look at it. And at this point, my heart was broken because I've heard this so many times, and I was like, God, I'm so scared. And I had asked them point blank, all right, can you technically, like, is it actually possible for you to recover my channel in the videos? And they were like, well, we're not really sure. And I'm like, what do you mean? Your YouTube, like, isn't this, like, shouldn't you know? And they're like, well, we'll tell you later. And for another week, every single day I would check in with them, and every single day they would say, oh, I'm waiting for an answer. I'm waiting for an answer. I'm waiting for an answer. And I'd ask, like, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting to know whether or not you can recover the channel? Or are you waiting to find out whether or not you will for me, or if you trust that I'm the person? Because just at least tell me if it's actually technically possible. But they refused to do that, which was quite frustrating. And then, yeah, last Friday they said, hey, we're gonna give you back the channel. And I was excited, and I'm like, but I was still at this point, and they said, we're gonna give you back the channel. We're not sure if you're gonna be able to recover your videos. And I didn't hear back from them that Friday night, didn't hear back from them Saturday, and then finally Sunday, they said, okay, we need your permission and approval. Do you want us to restore the channel? I'm like, yes, like, please. And so I said yes, and then I asked, all right, what about the videos? And they didn't respond until the next day. And then the next morning they said, okay, well, here's a list of all your videos. Do you want us to recover them? I'm like, yes, please recover the videos. And so they did. And the videos have been recovered, and I'm so happy about that. I am still a little bit stressed out because the channel's performing about half as well as it was before. So this is the favor I need to ask for you. And I'll get into the 3 big lessons that I learned in just a second here. My favor is go back, rewatch some previous videos, leave it in the background, like the videos. If you haven't liked my videos in the past, go back and like some videos. Like I said, just let the videos play in the background because YouTube really cares about watch time. And if they see that you as a subscriber are watching my previous videos and are letting them play in the background, it's gonna make it so that they're more likely to boost my channel. I know that's a big ask. Maybe just, one night, click on one of my playlists and let everything go. Whatever you can do to support would mean a lot. Another way you can support, if you've gotten value from this YouTube channel and you haven't already done it yet, you can join my Amazon FBA program, the Passion Product Formula, because even if YouTube takes down my channel, you're always gonna have access to that content. But the bigger reason why I'd recommend you join my program, my Amazon FBA program, is because community. And during this time, that was the #1 lesson I learned, is how important it is to have a community around you. And when you join the Passion Product Formula, you get access to a private Facebook mastermind, you get access to weekly Q&A calls, and one of the biggest value adds of this program is that community. We all support each other. When something negative happens to you, we got your back. And when something negative happens to someone else, hopefully you got their back. And that's what happened to me. I had so many people reach out to me from my life, from all my different friends they were telling me, hey, how can I help you? They were contacting people at YouTube and at Google. They were strategizing with me. And this meant so much to me. And this is a huge thank you to every single person out there that helped me during this time of need. I hadn't felt that low in a very long time. And I think that if I didn't have this community, if I didn't have this support, I never would have recovered the channel. I know I wouldn't have. I would have quit. I'd considered the first couple days, I'd considered, you know what, maybe it's just the universe telling me to quit and move to Thailand and live on a beach somewhere. And I'm really grateful that I now have the channel back. And look, if I want to move to Thailand, I can, but now I have all my content, everything that I've been working so hard for. And so that's the first lesson, is you really need to surround yourself with the community. When you have goals, when you're trying to achieve something, it's good to have that because you're gonna have setbacks and you're gonna need other people's help. As humans, we're not meant to be individuals. We're meant to have a tribe, a community around us. The second lesson I learned is that I want to grow and expand and let more people know about this idea of a passion product and how to sell on Amazon. And there's a couple different ways that I'm going to do this. And there's going to be some changes here on this YouTube channel. One of the biggest things I do want to let you know that some of my previous videos that I've posted, because of this hack, they've stopped getting views. So I may repost some videos from the past just to get the engine running again and get more views to them. Another thing is I'm going to start featuring more students on this YouTube channel, including having Connor teach some lessons on this YouTube channel and in my Amazon FBA program. But one of the big things that's really relevant to you, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is I do want to start helping people to launch their own Amazon FBA YouTube channels, because I see how important this was to me. I see how big of an impact. I had so many messages from people saying, what happened to your channel? And I don't want it to be that my YouTube channel is the only one talking about this like really cool way of selling on Amazon, this idea of creating a passion product. And that's actually gonna be one of the new benefits of joining this program. I'm even gonna add a course about how to do YouTube, but specifically for the people that are getting some success, I will partner with you. And this will be an additional income stream for you as well. So it's a no-brainer. I have a team of editors, I have a team of people. So if you've ever wanted to start a YouTube channel, but you don't really know how to do it and you're looking to, I'm here to partner with you. And that leads into my third lesson, and that's that you should share your knowledge. Go out there, figure out cool things. And you watching this video right now, there's something that you know that you could share with the world and it's gonna help the world. I think the most valuable thing that I've learned currently in my life is how to make money online. I created a business that makes 6 figures in passive income. I've since taught a lot of other people how to do it, what I call the passion product formula. And again, if you do want to support this YouTube channel, there is a link down below to join the passion product formula. It includes weekly Q&A calls with either myself or one of my coaches like AJ, who in his first year did over $500,000 in sales. It also includes the private Facebook mastermind, over 12 hours of step-by-step screen recorded lessons. I go into way more depth in that program than I do on any of my videos on this channel. So again, there's a link down below if you want to join that program. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel. Bye.